Hey guys, welcome back to the Skyward Sword walkthrough, and I decided to come to the entrance basically of the volcano instead of the more efficient Volcano Ascent, just because if you come just to the entrance, you'll find Gorko the Goron just right nearby, and he talks more about goddess cubes, and if you talk to him here, now that we've completed the sand ship, and we now can douse for 8 different items. The Gorko allows you the ability to, speaking to Gorko, this will trigger Phi to give you the ability to now douse for goddess cubes. It's, I guess, useful if you are not using a walkthrough, but the fact that I'm showing it here means you are, and you're seeing it, means you're actually using this walkthrough. Thus, it's not that valuable, I guess, for people like you. Anyway, it's a cool addition. I think in general the expansion of the dowsing from 4 to 8 items, I think that could have been more useful earlier on in the quest. I think we're quite along the way in terms of the overall game. We're about 2/3 the way through, so I think it might be a little late for something like that. But anyway, the Volcano Ascent is the area you want to go to, and here is the area where you can strum your harp. And once again, I'll let this scene play out, so I'll see you guys in the Silent Room. The Eldin Silent Realm, it's I'd say it's more difficult than the first two, much for the reason that it's so wide open. I mean, I should say wide open might not be the word, but like the Lanayru region, it was kind of dense in that it all took place in the desert, and you pretty much were able to see all of the tiers like right from the get-go. The Farron region too was kind of small, so it didn't really require too much like running and searching. In the Eldin region though, the tiers are all throughout the volcano, so it's quite a bit different in that there's a lot more like long distance traveling in order to get all of the tiers. I like to get the more difficult ones out of the way first, so in particular I'm making my way up this initial area, or the first incline area first, just because there's all of those little lantern dudes that watch out for you, and this could be kind of difficult to make your way up since it's right next to the where the Silent Realm starts, I sort of recommend doing these three more difficult ones right away. The other more difficult ones occur at the sort of like the slide area at the east end of the volcano. It's going to take you multiple times down that massive slide, and I actually found these to be incredibly difficult the first time around. In fact, I had to go up and down the slide maybe as many as like 15 times. Fortunately, even if you run out of tears in terms of the time, so even if you don't have all of the, like if the guardians have been awakened, they're still easy to avoid, so you can still make your way up and down the slide here. Notice I saw a tier over there, but I did not get it yet. I'm preserving that particular tier for just a little bit because I still had time remaining. So there are two tiers heading down the slide. The first one, you want to travel down to the right and then make your way over to this platform here. We came this way much earlier on in the game to get the Earth Temple piece of the key. You can see the other tier over there. However, I can't get it because it's further up on the slide area, but on the other side. Thus meaning you're going to actually have to go through this area a second time. So slide down all the way to the bottom here. And that particular guardian that I just passed, that's the one that's going to give you some trouble if you're having trouble on the slide area, because that guardian will awaken and like I said, it'll basically give you trouble. Notice I'm sort of preserving some of these tiers because I know I'm going to be backtracking to this area once again, and it's a good idea to preserve as many of those particular tiers as possible, just because it might take you multiple tries to get through the slide area. In particular, this precise tier that I'm about to get is the one that actually gave me trouble. Fortunately, I got on my first try here, but the first time through this game, I had a lot of trouble getting this one. I just missed it, like to the left or to the right, but it's not that difficult to get. I don't know what really caused me so much trouble, but there's also a bunch of waking water around, so you want to try to slide and avoid the waking water, just so the guardians aren't awakened. So you want to pick up all of the tiers here. There's one over there by the stamina fruit that I sort of just completely bypassed. You can actually see it from around the corner as well. It's sort of just right there. You can actually preserve this one, save this one, or you can just go and get it right now. I should have just gotten it momentarily ago, but you have to climb down the vines in order to pick this one up. The 6 remaining tiers are sort of in the earlier portion of the Eldin Volcano. There's now this bridge here that you can run across, and there's the landscape has changed just a tad. There's some minor differences, but you can pick up the tier just over there. There's now this like lantern that sort of patrols across this bridge. So again, you need a dash across to use your stamina, and avoid the watchers. And they're not too hard to avoid, so shouldn't give you too much trouble. Jump across these platforms to pick up the tier that is located over here. And we have 4 of them remaining. And what you don't want to do is what I just did and jump into the lava. Fortunately, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, you don't actually have health, and it doesn't take away any of your time. So you really have no loss, basically, for falling into the lava, or the magma, I guess, if you want to call it. This next one's up here on the way over to a heart piece that we got much earlier on in the game. This time around, you have to jump and latch on to the rope found here. Once you've latched on, just like turn the rope a little bit, and then swing on over and collect the tier over there. We have 3 more remaining. You don't want to fall off just yet. Instead, just swing back over to the higher platform and make your way around to this area. And this tier is actually located exactly where that piece of heart was found much earlier on in the quest. There's 2 more remaining here. If you take this pathway to the right, there was a goddess cube over here before, but now there's a dusk relic. And much like in the previous Silent Realms, I'm trying to show as many of the dusk relics as I have found myself. So you can pick those up and use those to upgrade treasures. I've actually gotten enough dusk relics that I don't actually need to get any additional ones anymore moving forward. As I've mentioned, you only need 13 of them in order to get all the upgrades pretty much in the game, so they're really just optional. In fact, they just include so many of them, assuming everybody's not going to get every single one. So that's that. So collect the 15th tier, and or 14th tier. Sorry, I sort of get confused because I believe there were 16 tiers in Twilight Princess, and there's 15 tiers in Skyward Sword, if I'm counting right and remembering correctly. But there you go. That's the 15th tier of Din. And at this point, we want to make our way over to the bridge once again, where we entered the Silent Realm. You're no longer being timed, but the watchers can still spot you, so you still want to be somewhat careful. At this point, there's really just that one particular watcher across that one bridge that we ran across a few moments ago. That's the only one that's going to give you trouble at this point. So that's pretty much it. I pretty much went through this entire Silent Realm without actually activating any of the Guardians other than right from the get-go. You probably won't have as much luck the first time around. This sort of just takes a lot of practice. And as I sort of mentioned, this is probably one of the more difficult Silent Realms. At least I think it's more difficult than the first 2. But hey, maybe you'll have not much trouble with it at all. But so that's pretty much going to do it for this video. We are going to get a nice reward for completing this Silent Realm, or not really a nice reward, but well, a reward, and it'll allow us to progress further on within the Eldin Volcano region as a whole. So run on over back to the entrance point and you'll get the fire shield earrings, and this will allow us to withstand heat. So Link will step back into the portal, and I will see you guys in the next video.